Hey there everyone, Luke here, and as you can see we're talking about the second chapter of the limited series of Doctor Stone that's come out, the continuation from where the one shot left off. Now before I get into that, just want to say a few little things. For starters, we are hopefully on Control Chaos going to be getting through the rest of Wild Force on Power Rangers Wild Force, and then the Disney era will be not the Disney era, the post Sword era video will be up and about. Hopefully, that's up to Vex. So hopefully that'll be done by, if not the end of this week, then the end of next week, definitely. And also as well, doing doing a gaming night on Control Chaos. So come on, viewers on Twitch. Um, either, either tomorrow live or whenever after this video goes up. Yeah, that's the bottom line. And also as well, was meant to do this yesterday but was too tired, but now I'm here now, so let's just dive right into this chapter. Alright, so this is chapter two. This is chapter 2 of 4D Science, or chapter 236 if you want to go by what I like to go off, because the series ended on chapter 233, then we had Telephone was 234, then we had last chapter which was 235, so this is 236, and the chapter that's coming out this week, this upcoming week, which will be a double issue of Shonen Jump, because Shonen Jump's going on break because of it being Christmas. Which, by the way, that reminds me, the next chapter review will be out a little bit later because of it obviously being Christmas, and I want to have a bit of relax. Same thing for Mission Yours Core Family. So yeah, just giving you a heads up there, guys. But yeah, this chapter is titled Future Roadmap, which yeah, we're getting into some really heavy sci-fi stuff here. Now, some people love that, some people hate that. I can understand it from both sides of the angle. My perspective of it is, like, I felt this was just going to be, like I've been saying before, this was just going to be the natural progression of the series. Like, we were eventually going to get into things that have been theorized but haven't been proven yet. We were probably going to get to that point with the series. But I can understand why people will be a little bit like, yeah, I'm not really sure I like that, because then it kind of takes away from the whole stance on the reboot spin-off. But like I said, it's just the way I've naturally viewed it, and I just love it when we actually do get to go back and revisit Doctor Stone, and get to see more adventures with Senku and everyone. And personally, I've not been disappointed. I know a lot of people were disappointed, but I'm not one of them. Like I said, it's virtually impossible for me to hate Doctor Stone. Very few things that I really do generally not like about the series, but at the same time don't automatically hate. But anyway, the title page is pretty cool. It just shows Senku just with the stars in the background, and kind of a foreshadowing for events that are going to go in the chat, because it seems like there's rope coming out of his hair. Keep that in mind. But yeah, we pick up directly from where the last chapter ended off, because that cliffhanger, the last chapter, that was just like, oh my god, so many theories and so many possibilities and potentials here. And yeah, I did make the idea of, like, maybe Byakuya, the person that set the entire series into motion, well, except for the White Man. The White Man was the one that set the entire series into motion. But you get the idea of, like, Byakuya setting up the village and everything. You get that idea. Like, the one who initially started the adventure potentially being the final villain. That still could be a possibility. Based on what happens at the end of this chapter. Although Party Jams and me, we had a bit of back and forth on this, so we both have our own theories about that. But we'll get into that when we get into it. So everyone is just like freaking out when they've heard this message. Just that Senku's dad, didn't he die ages ago? Now is he, like, how is he here? How is he in the future? Like, basically asking all the questions that the audience adds, because to have a message like this, like, just completely changes everything. And we have obviously Ryusui here going like, "Aha, fear not! We'll put together a time machine with neuroscience and unravel every last mystery. Am I wrong?" Before we actually get a flashback to Byakuya and Senku and all the times they had together, and just Senku just like having an expression that he doesn't normally have, just being like in wonder, confusion, awe, and potentially excitement as well. Because, like I said, that's the honest tragic thing about Senku's character, is that he never got to say goodbye to Byakuya, and maybe now he might actually get that chance, like, to bring closure on that little plot point. And again, whether or not you think that's a good thing or bad thing, that's up to your interpretation. And of course, with anything Dr. Stone related, if there's a big science project, we have to have the roadmap. And we've got this road. I love the fact that we've just had all these roadmaps for this time machine, which makes sense because it's a time machine. Like, time travel is something that theoretically has been talked about, but can't really happen in our modern day. But I guess we're going there. So we have and I just realised it's Chrome making this roadmap, so of course it's going to have some chronisms, basically bad army of rockets. And fun fact, I have been streaming the Dot Stone anime with a group of people in Discord, and they don't particularly like Chrome saying bad all the time, and I've had to say that it's his thing, but they're like, yeah, we still don't like it. So we have bad army of rockets, resources, space base, helium-free blueprint, and time machine, but we don't know what is on the blueprint. Although it is possible that it's the roadmap from the ending of the main series. And then we cut to a facility that has been built. Like, this has obviously been built over several years, because we have actually, like, we've been seeing glimpses of it throughout these chapters, from the ending of the series to terraforming to the last chapter. But this is a chapter. This is a chapter where I basically confirm that, yeah, we have basically I guess we call it Stone City, because we have a city basically built where Tsukasa's empire used to be. So I guess that's what we're calling it. So we have Kohaku, Taiju, and Yuzuriya, with Yuzuriya and Taiju just distributing spacesuits, which, yeah, makes sense. Yuzuriya would be the ones to do that. And we have Kohaku instructing a few of the background characters, just like, yeah, we've got these rockets here, and they're going to be shooting up into space. As we have Sinu Stanley again having a little bit of back and forth here, where Sinu goes on and says the unfathomable amount of resources needed to construct the space city will have to be transported to the moon, 380,000 kilometers away. For that, we're in the process of testing a variety of rockets, but at the core of it, a given rocket's cargo can only amount to 10% of its total payload. Not really sure what that actually means, but a given rocket's cargo can only amount to 10% of its total. Oh, okay, so the total payload of what is actually going to be needed to get to the moon and get the resources on the moon to actually construct this entire city. And again, it's just flabbergasted about this. A measly 10%. As Siegel continues on and says, the remaining 90 must be propelled supremely insufficient. But alas, as Stanley reiterates, like, yeah, the efforts of all of this is going to take decades. And yeah, I can believe that this will take decades at the rate that they're going. We're just using the rockets to shoot up, get them to the moon, and it's only going to amass to 10% of the resources that they'll need. Yeah. Oh no, no, no. What I think is going on here is that they're producing all these rockets, like five or six, seven rockets, and that's only going to be a mass to 10%. So they have to probably build about 70 rockets. And we saw how long it took them to build just one rocket to get to the moon. Like that took them 5 years. So yeah, it would take decades to actually get this whole plan into motion, and they can't wait decades. Also, side note, I do love the little callback to the numbering of the rockets. So we have Senku 3, and then we have Senku 4 here, and obviously we have Senku 5, 6, 7 going on here. But yeah, continue on with the chats. We have Kazuki basically realizing his mortality, which hey, they could still hey, you guys, you still have the Medusa. You still have Wyman. You could petrify Kazuki until the end of this project so that he can actually see the fruits of his labor, because he's uh, he's realizing his mortality, and the fact that it's going to take decades means that he won't be there to see the fruits of labor. Because Kazuki at this point in the series, okay, he was 60 when the series started, and it took so he's in his 70s. He's in his, I would say, late 70s, going on 80s at this point in the series. So yeah, it might be wise to like petrify him for a number of years, then bring him back to life to see the fruits of his labor before he actually does go. But then they'll need Kazuki. They need Kazuki because he's the craftsman. He's like, yeah, yeah, they really need to do what they need to do in this chapter. And we also have Chrome and Suika realizing this as well, as they're like, oh yeah, yeah, this is all this. Not a lot of us are going to be here, and like I said, at this point, it wouldn't have surprised me if Chalk and Sagare, the dog and pig, are already dead. Like they've already passed on, and this is probably what Suika is probably thinking in this little panel here. Before we have Karaka going on and saying like, I have to say these rockets are taking some weird and wild some weird and wild paths to the moon. I should know since I hitched a ride on one. Love that we get that reference to Karaka in space, which still waiting for Chrome and Suika in space because they deserve to have that trip into space. And yeah, fingers crossed we actually get it in the final chapter that's coming out this week. Fingers crossed for that. But Crocker goes on and says, "Yeah, this is kind of like how a lasso works. Like what the patterns are actually doing, guys." Chrome says, "Oh yeah. It's courtesy of gravity. Though if there were a way to sit straight up, well, that'll make the trip a whole lot faster. So basically, making a space elevator. Like they're gonna make a space elevator. That's what the plan. What the plan is to." I guess make it to the new ISS. That's like they've probably started constructing ideas to get a new ISS up there, or just like basically get like a space elevator to the moon. Which, yeah, they do mention in this chapter that that's been something that's actually been theorized but never actually come into fruition before in our world. Actually, let me quickly have a look up. And yeah, it's not the first time in a series where a space elevator has emerged. Like South Park did it in A Ladder to Heaven. Yu-Gi-Oh did it in the Dark Side of the Dimensions movie, where Kevin made the space elevator. He made Thunderbird 5 in space just to go back in time into the afterlife to beat the Pharaoh at children's card game. So yeah, space elevator. Um, Possible, yeah. Uh, yeah, an untapped space elevator cable would, yeah. So it has been talked about, like this whole idea of a space elevator cable and needing that to actually get people from the Earth into space without the need of rocket, and it would need a material capable of sustaining a length of 4,960 kilometers of its own weight at sea level to reach a gastrostationary altitude of 35,780 kilometers, or 22,236 miles without yielding. Therefore, a material with very high strength and lightness is needed. So yeah, basically what happens in this chapter, like they get a material that's very high in strength but also light as well. So yeah, there. Like I said, it has been talked about the space elevator, and there's even questions like, is a space elevator possible on the moon? And they said, and it's mentioned here, a space elevator could be anchored near a lunar pole, though not directly at it. So yeah, it is an idea that's been theorized, just not coming to fruition, which begs the question of like, will we ever get the space elevator? At this point, will we ever get it? Probably not in our lifetimes, but I can imagine us doing it. Yeah, and there's lots of videos online of talking about the lunar space elevator as well. So, wait a minute. Yeah, wait. Yeah. So yeah, they've talked about like the concept, but it hasn't come into reality yet. But one thing that is coming into reality, which begs the question of like, if this is coming into reality, maybe the space elevator is next. Is the space hotel? Like, there is actually a space hotel being built at the moment. Like, let me have a look and see when that's actually meant to be opening. Space hotel. Um, yeah. Oh no, no. Is it actually? Yeah. Because people, the space hotel in space. Hotel in space. Yeah. Voyage station above first proposed space hotel. Oh no, no. I don't think it is. There a hotel being built in space? Yeah. So the construction of the space hotel, is meant to begin it by 2026. So yeah, there is. So yeah, there is the space hotel being constructed. So maybe we might actually get the space elevator. So it might actually come in our lifetime. So sorry to go off on a tangent there. But this is where we get the idea, and it's not from Chrome, it's not from Senku, it's not even from Sinu. It's from Suika. Suika is the one who basically comes up with the idea of the lasso sip up straight, and it's just like, I've got an idea, and just starts writing everything down. And Chrome and Koroko are just like, oh, cooking up some bad strategy. You're always so helpful, Suika. And I just love, like, after all of that, so Koroko feels the need to actually just be like, I'm gonna tickle you, Suika. But Suika says, no, it's not. No, that's just an off the cuff idea, not helpful at all. Might as well go in the trash. But Chrome is looking at it, and it's just like, as he gathers everyone together. It's like, okay, everyone's here right now. Okay, Senku's here, Sinu's here, Gen's here. Okay, Kazuki's here, Sai's here. Okay, they're all here. Check this out for a bad craft. It seriously cuts down on the time. We need to haul all these resources to the moon. Oh, and by the way, this was Suika's brilliant idea, not idea and plan, not mine. Which, thank you, Chrome. Thank you for saying that, because yeah, even though the idea of the return rocket was Chrome's initial, Suika did help a lot out. Suika was his right hand man during that idea, and she didn't really get any of the credit for it. But thankfully, she gets all the credit here for coming up with the idea of the space elevator. So bravo! And honestly, the shining moment for Suika after the time skip, in my opinion, which she did on her own, which again goes with the idea that maybe Suika is getting a little bit up there in terms of the smartness. I mean, she's obviously not going to be as smart as Senku or Sino or Chrome, but I would say she's getting up there to be the fourth smartest character of the series to actually come up with the space elevator. And with Suika, she's just like, yeah, that's fine, Daddy, but I suck at explaining. So to demonstrate it, here's Kohaku, as we see Kohaku with a new hairstyle, and a new outfit. But I just love the fact that the Kingdom of Science, like the big guns at the Kingdom of Science now all have the symbol of the Kingdom of Science and also the E=mc². Even Kohaku has it on her outfit now. Well, I guess it's this alternate outfit that she has, like to showcase, like, yeah, I'm one of the more prominent members of the Kingdom of Science. But yeah, the big change for Kohaku is obviously she's cut her hair, and Gen is just freaking out here. Like, what did you do? Like, Gen, she just had a haircut. God, I'm sounding like Senku and Sino here, as they're just like, is that a model of the Earth? What's these balls for? And Ukio's just there, like, they have zero interest in the new hairdo, logic and effective to a fault. And yeah, because it's really not that big of a deal, but it does seem to, I guess, alter her personality a little bit. I don't know, but anyway, my opinion on it, like, it's a good look for her. I mean, Kohaku with short hair, but there was one thing I wanted to bring up here. Yeah, okay, you see at the end of the series, at the end of the main series, that Yuzuria's hair has grown back a little bit, but here it's like being cut out. Like, did she just decide off screen, like, yeah, I prefer my hair short, and just lopped it all off? Like, seriously, go back and read the end of the series. You'll see Yuzuria went into Taijo and she does have longer hair. And in this chapter, she has shorter hair. Like, again, did she just decide that she likes short hair and decide, yeah, I'm getting rid of it in between chapters? But I digress. We have Kohaku demonstrating the whole lasso here, as we have Chrome going like, check it out, see the string and wait, but you're wondering why the string's staying straight. As Gen's like, yeah, it's no mystery. My Kohaku is spinning the weight at ludicrous speed, clearly. No. Okay, Gen. For it to be ludicrous speed, you have to go to you have to have your brains going into your feet. Like, have you ever seen Spaceballs? Like, I just wanted to bring up a Spaceballs reference here, but yeah, ludicrous speed is like your brain's going to feet, and you start talking like this, and then you eventually go to plaid. Seriously. Anybody who wants to watch Spaceballs with me on Discord, feel free to jump in. Feel free to join the Discord, the Control Chaos Discord, and come and watch it with me at some point, because that is a very funny movie. But anyway, we have Chrome saying like, and our planet has a mighty spin on its own. So imagine we tether a really long string with a weight on the end. Then the string would stay taut, and with a string stretching up into space, we'd have 3 elevator rides for life. And we have obviously the reactions that you would expect. You have Kazuki like getting like, it's like his crafting wire has just been like flipped, and then we have Gen going like, are you serious? Is that even possible? And then you just have in the background Ryusui being like, yes, I'm getting excited for this. As Chrome continues to go on his monologue, which has been like, say goodbye to the days of needing fuel for launches. We could shoot resources or whatever up into space without any limits. Go on, admit it. Your 21st century science never produced anything this doodah, right? We call it, and then Senku like obviously knows what it is, like a space elevator, and then we get the classic of just Chrome getting on his back, but not just Chrome, we get Suika here as well now joining in. Like, of course it already exists, but a flip on it is that hey, Chrome. No. Even though we know what this is, this didn't actually exist during our time. And again, I love the reaction from Chrome, because it's just like, finally. It's like he's always wanted to have an idea and come up with it and actually produce it for this era that didn't exist in Senku's time. It's always wanted that one up on Senku, and he finally gets it at this point. Like, yeah, they've come up with an idea and they're going to do a concept that even Senku and the modern people didn't even think it would exist. Obviously we have Suika blushing. It's just being like, wait, my idea was the first one that even in Senku's time didn't exist. That's probably what's going through her mind right now. Before Senku goes on and says, it was only ever a theoretical concept since way back when. The cynical groups, Obishikos, once drew up some plans for it. And yeah, like what I said earlier in the review, Senior brings up the difficulties here of just being like, the issue is going to be with the cable strength. Sending the elevator to space demands a cable tens of thousands of kilometers long, which, like they said, like it made a lot of sense. Like, what was the actual length that I needed? If we can get it back up. So yeah, blah 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 blah. Space elevator. So what was the actual component? Yeah. So yeah, it was like 20. Here we go. So yeah, tens of thousands of kilometers. So yeah, 35,000, nearly 36,000 kilometers. So yeah, that's what it was. A spider's thread stretching into the heavens is bound to snap under its own weight. So yeah, they're saying like, well, this idea has been theorized. It's just never been possible for these obvious reasons. As Sino continues on and says, what could withstand such force? It must be strong and lightweight. But such an elegant material does not exist. Even 21st century science couldn't make that pipe dream into realities. We have a flashback to everyone just being like dismissive of the idea. But of course, now they don't have. Now they not only are back to having at least the remnants of 21st century technology, they've gone beyond that because they actually have the Medusa, and the Medusa is going to come into play very prominently with actually getting this idea being a reality. So continuing on, Sinu says like, yeah, on second thoughts, like what I said just before, like, even though it didn't exist in the 21st century, they're now beyond the 21st century, and they have the Medusa right here. So he theorized like, yeah, we could probably make this into a reality now, and we just have Suiko and Chrome getting like really excited, like, what of our plans that we came up with completely on our own, that goes beyond 21st century, that's going to come into motion. Like, they're just probably going through those emotions in their mind right now, as Senku makes a call back to Byakuya, saying like, yeah, you've got to take action to achieve something, because now what will happen, can't know what will happen until you try. And yeah, this flashback, I'm just getting like really like villainy vibes from Byakuya, like maybe before he dies, like we'll get into it when we get into it, as Crow goes on and says, okay, slow down, you guys, okay. Yeah, I know me and Suiko are excited about this, but we've got to realise the string's got to be really, really strong here. So where are we going to find something like that? I don't know, you could use a rhino's horn. I mean, that's made out of hair and fingernails. Could use that, because that's what Suiko basically says here. She's like, yeah, we could use Kohaku's hair, as we have Kohaku saying, like, I cut and braided some to make this rope, and again, and others are just freaking out here. I've just been like, how strong is your hair, and do we need to shave you bald 1,000,000 times to make you into space? And Kohaku's just like, yeah, but my hair's of stronger stuff than most, and no, we don't want to see Kohaku with a bald head. But this is where Senku gets an epiphany going on in his head, as he calls back to what happened in space, where the single strand of his hair got petrified. It totally ruined the circuit board. So at this point, they're going over to Y-Man, who is petrifying hair, and after the petrification, they go, oh, the old petrifying chain reaction. It seems super lightweight and tough. And Kohaku's just like, yeah, it's my hair. It's my hair after all. And Senku's just like, this is all irrelevant. And Sinu carries on by saying, back in the 21st century, the American CDC ran tests on the bird statues. We learned that the fin tips and excrements were the sturdiest parts. So like the thinnest tips of the stone were like the sturdiest part. But even like a punch from a single human could not, like, I don't know. and we have Ryusui going on and saying like, "Why, man? We know you petrified swallows in the past. Can you set the petra beam to target a specific organism? What about just hair, fur, and feathers?" And Wyman basically confirms that yes, I can set anything. I can set to petrify anything that has a bio biological organism, even unattached to the body. Set material will petrified. So we finally get like well, we had inklings in the past, but yeah, this pretty much confirms that the petrification beam can't work on inorganic matters. It can only work on organic matters, which again goes back to how the hell did Yuzuria's headband get petrified when she got coined in during the Second Worldwide petrification. And no, I will not get over that. So anyway, we have Ukio coming up with the idea of like, wait a second, what animal produces something that's thin, strong, that's something that's strong but thin, and is the most connected to string as possible? And the answer is obvious, as it's obviously spiders that do this. And this is interesting because it's the first time the humans are actually seeing like well, I guess they saw it in the past, but like the main characters just like walking along, and just being like, oh, the petrified beams happen, because like it was established like when it's set to like, say it's set to the spider and the spider thread at this point, like nobody else is affected, and it'll just be like a blink of just like, oh wait, they're petrified. Like that was an established plot point, so I'm glad it's being brought back, and we're seeing it for the main characters are now actually seeing that action for the first time. Well, the first time in the series that they're actually experiencing it. But yeah, Kawaku says like, oh, this silk that's been petrified is even lighter and stronger than the hair. And we have Sinku saying like, still, where we getting tens of thousands of kilometers spider thread, it ain't happening. Before we have Sinu saying like, indeed, spiders are ill suited to such mass production. So we need something biological, a bad amount of it, something like a thin string. Before we have Yuzuri arriving with the spacesuits, and she goes on and says, "Hey, why not silk?" And yeah, silk can be used. Silk can be produced from spiders. And also, we have clothes that have been built, that have been made from silk. So yeah, sure, why not? And then Sinu and Seiko are just like, hey, that's a pretty damn good idea here. As we have Yuzuriya and Rui saying silkworm cocoons should count as biological byproducts, right? We use plenty of the stuff over at the fashion studio, as we see but yeah, even spiders can make silk thread as well, as we see them coming over to the said fashion studio, and Seiku's saying like, yeah, this will do the trick, and Koku getting an epiphany of her own, like, how fantastical is that? Through success and failure, everything that humanity's learned in its long struggle is now on the table for the picnic. And of course, Ryusui being Ryusui is, this will take us to space and headlong into the future. A Silk Road of Science. So, space elevator cable acquired, but yet not really ready to actually go up into space as well. And yeah, it seems like, okay, it seems like they're doing it from making a new ISS station from the satellite that was launched into space at the end of the series. But yeah, now I just want to have it's Senku's Moon Party from outer space with Ryusui playing a bass. I just want that like comedic sketch of Senku doing a parody of the sketch from The Simpsons where it was Bart's Moon Pie from outer space. But yeah, we get a montage going on here of them obviously trying to produce the space elevator cable, and obviously going through all the testing here, as Kaku is the test subject for it. She's like, "Ha! What a blast! Sliding down is a breeze, but climbing back up is a chore and a half." And yeah, even with the space cable, they're still going to need spacesuits. That's still going to be a thing that they're going to do. And will they burn in the atmosphere, re-entering the atmosphere? That's also something that they're going to have to consider as well. And we have again saying, so we have a smooth, slippery, petrified rope. How in the world will we climb this to reach outer space? Yeah, and how on earth will you survive re-entering the atmosphere and also exiting the atmosphere? Because won't the friction burn them? Like I said, yeah, that's something that. No, wait, no, it wouldn't, because we've had that human that jumped from the ISS back down to Earth. So yeah, I guess it wouldn't. But yeah, they continue on to say, by way of trade of stone material we've already learnt about during our near disaster in the spacecraft, how was a strain of petrified air able to destroy that circuit board? Stanley goes on and says, because the electricity passed through the hair and ended up bridging the circuit. And Sicker's like, yep, you got it right, Stanley. So this only concludes that the stone material was a conductor of electricity. And Gen's like, if that explains everything, and a conductor is what? Like, oh my god, Gen, like. Are you just like Bradley Walsh? Are you just like Bradley Walsh from The Chase, where you get like a very basic question, and he's just like, I've never heard of that. Like, you've never heard of a conductor, like a circuit conductor in a computer that allows electricity to travel along networks. Like, I don't know. I don't know the components of how a conductor works, but I do know that it's meant to guide. I think it's actually meant to guide. But okay, so that I don't look like an idiot, I'm just gonna like have a quick brief of quick brief refresher of a conductor. What is a conductor? Yeah, electrical conductor. A conductor or electrical conductor is a substance of or material that allows electricity to flow through it. Okay, so yeah, Again, I don't expect you to know how it works, but I do expect you to at least have an idea of what it is, like conducting, guiding it, traveling through. That's what the term conductor means. Of course, Seaman says it right here. Traveling along a robust conductor of electricity can be achieved with the power of electromagnetism, and this is where again like gets an idea of like gets his like crazy like oh my god, I know what's coming next, and yeah, Cinco says we're making a line motor car. That's the one. I guess like that's the one. And you talk of crafting such a wild device like it's nothing. This sure does take me back. Like again, you shouldn't be surprised about this. You're literally making a space elevator to space. You're literally going to be colonizing and terraforming other planets. Like, I think at this point, nothing should surprise you again. Like, nothing should surprise you. Like, when you go to the idea of terraforming planets, making a space elevator, potentially making your own space hotel, I think you're beyond being like, yeah, this doesn't shock me. But this is where we get, like, a good look of the city, because we can tell it is near the Tsukasa Empire, because you have like that tent thing with all like the wooden cave areas separating it. So yeah, I guess this area that they're living in now, I guess they've called it Stone City. So then we have Chrome basically like, okay, scrap the bad army of rockets, we've got the line motor car, resources, space elevator, silk, and then everything to get to the time machine. Before again goes, but this like linear motor car thing, even in the 23rd century, they never actually made one, right? And Senku's just like, oh no, they did. No, they did. There were a few of them zipping around back then. You know, the Oda line in Tokyo. These trains used linear motor propulsionies, and yeah, Senku says, like, yeah, I bet you're picturing it like this, as it's just like a really flimsy car, really flimsy car. I guess that what Gen's going for here before Senior corrects him and says, like, the concept is defined by magnetic propulsivity. The vehicle needs not float in the air. As he takes the lid off a can of Senku Cola and says, take this aluminium disc for instance. It's similar to the one yen coin. It conducts electricity, but it doesn't stick to the magnet. And yeah, Gen goes, ah yes, it's paying the magnet no mind. Come to think of it, I don't even recall one yen coin ever sticking to a magnet. Before Senior makes another experiment by saying, like, but it floats atop water, and it's if by magic when I spin the magnet around, it's really spinning and flowing your every move. And this where Suiko and Chrome are just like, how does this even work? The disc wouldn't do anything before, but look at it right now. And Senior says the shifting magnetic field yields an in just current. As Senku says, okay, to put it simply, the magnet's power spreads and gets repelled. Okay, makes sense. And of course, we have Mecha Senku back by saying, you can easily test this with a 1 yen coin. Place the coin on the water exceedingly gently. That's the trick. And so he's like, oh yeah, Senku, you mentioned the audio line. Yes, linear motor trains were given locomotion by the elegant scientific principle. Electromagnetism, swirls of electricity emerge to make the rail itself magnetic. Reverse the current to the switch, the north-south polarity. Magnesium spreads, and boom, you get the line that was in Tokyo. And they're going on and saying, like, we have Chrome going on doing a classic line. Yeah, I guess I get it, but yeah, I'm still confused by it. But before we have Kazuki basically stripping himself and be like, I'm in the dark about this, but it sounds really cool. Let's get on it. As Senku explains, the upside to this linear motor is the friction. It's basically a non-factor. Doesn't matter if your rail is silk and smooth, or even if it's shooting straight up in the air. Scientific principles will give us an electromagnetic elevator that takes us into space along an actual silk road. Like, is silk just the most versatile material in the world? So continuing on, we have obviously Kuroko being the test subject again to test out the linear motor cars. We have a shooting on what looks like a ball right up the silk line from the bottom of the canyon right to the top where Senku and everyone is, as we see a land in front of Senku and giving them the doomy eyes. Like, okay, I do love the series, but one thing that I really wouldn't like is Senku X Kuroko, unless it was like purely like, okay, we're doing this to benefit the future of the human race. Like, we're not doing this for any like romantic sense. Like, yeah, it just doesn't work, because you guys remember what happened at the beginning of Treasure Island when Kirasami found Senku and Kuroko and they were forced to kiss each other. They were disgusted by that. So yeah, I don't buy this. Like, please don't go there. Please don't go there just to please the Senku X Kuroko shippers. But anyway, I digress. After a few more tests, Senku goes on and says, now we just need a few thousand kilometers of that to take us all the way to space. And yeah, again, it's just freaking out by saying, this is it. It's the hellish ritual bay labor. And Ukio's just like, yeah, thousands sounds doable as long as everybody pitches in to make use of our new world science. Okay, if I was sucked in the Dr. Stone universe and I was told, like, yeah, we're building a space artifact and we need to make a lot of silk rope line to make the cable that goes in space, I'll be like, okay, I'm chipping in as long as I get to go into space. Like, that would be my one criteria. Like, I don't care if I get paid minimum wage or anything, I just want to go into space. So yeah, we have a new facility, I guess a new facility being produced called Project Fountains of Paradise, as we see lorries or trucks, or whatever you want to call them, going back and forth gathering materials. As Karsuki says, we really putting our backs into it, and this summer seems awfully cold. I haven't noticed any pesky mosquitoes neither. As Chrome was just like, hey, this is the perfect season for a big crafting project. But one thing I really do want to bring attention to is the fact that Kohaku has her original hairstyle back, even though she cut her hair earlier in the chapter. So is this implying like a few months have passed since the last few pages came about? I don't know. But yeah, Crow's observation about, hey, the perfect season for a bit of crafting project, and Katsuki's observation of like, hey, there's no mosquitoes around, really gets Ryusu's brain functioning like, yeah, that seems strange, like we've not seen any mosquitoes. Yeah, even I, like, Ryusu says, oh, it's his captain instance, but even I will be like, yeah, that's a little bit weird, like, we're not seeing any mosquitoes running around here in an area that they would be prominent, and he goes on and thinking like the assured success of our time machine, everyone's pushing forward with new world science, the elevator in orbit, the line motor car, like it's all going a little too well, as if we're treading along a roadmap to the future charted by someone else and not by ourselves or our own fruition. So I'm glad that somebody actually picked up on the fact, like, yeah, this is all going a little bit too smoothly for us. Like there's no trial and error for us at this point. So yeah, something is amiss here. And he goes on and says, hold on, could it be we thought Senku's dad sent the message from the future, but could Byakuya actually be? And we don't get any more thoughts on this. Now, my theory is, and I know this is far-fetched, Byakuya's conscience is inside the Y-Man. Like, the Y-Man that they have with them, that has Byakuya's essence inside him. I know that's getting into, like, crazy Power Rangers Zordon in the Morphin Grid fan fiction, but, again, I can't think of anything else, like, that. Like, why would Byakuya be like? I don't know. Like, is it Byakuya's conscience? Like, I know this is probably gonna piss off a lot of people because this is getting into really crazy fan fiction or science fiction ideas. And Party Jam's had its own idea of like what's going on here, because we'll get into it when we get into it. As they go on and say like, oh, the raw silk stopped turning into stone. As the Y-Man's like, excessive use of Petra beam nearly expired in my battery, and Ted's like, you're putting your back into it, Y-Man. Before Karsuki notices that there's a problem switching out the battery, and Ryusu's just like, not quite. I thought that's what tends to drain Y-Man's battery, is when it emits the Petra beam over a wide area. Sure, it's been petrifying heaps of silk for us, but that's not exactly a wide range immersion. So yeah, glad that he's noticing. Like, yeah, the Y-Man's battery shouldn't be out from this. We get Ryusui talking onto a phone with, I guess, a technician, and he's just like, yeah, thought so. No other spots in Japan are enjoying a mosquito-free summer. They only stopped showing up in the Kanto region, and this is where Ryusui gets really pissed off like now. Okay, I'm calling a cold dragon for Ryusui Corp. Mobilize all staff, Francois. It's time for a scavenger hunt as we have people under his employment going up leaps and bounds to find like, okay, where have all the mosquitoes gone on here. We see him getting back into his captain attire and going over to Y-Man and just being like, okay, I have a few questions for you, Y-Man. I take it I don't go explain this to you. And as he sees a mosquito statue, and Y-Man basically confirms like, yeah, this is a mosquito statue, and he demands to know what's the deal with Byakuya. Y-Man, this is sad, but what did we expect? You ain't human, and you went across the one line you have no business crossing. Before they go on and before Gen goes on and says it's raining cats and dogs, and we have him going like, again observing all of Ryusui's current employees being like, yeah, what's going on? What's going on here? Before Senku as well notices the statue mosquito and gets himself shocked by this, and that's where the chapter ends. So really, really awesome chapter, really awesome continuation of this series. I've just thrown my phone down, so I'm gonna pick it back. So I need to pick it back up because just so many thoughts and ideas going in my head. Like, obviously I mentioned the whole idea of like Byaku's conscious being inside the Y-Man, which again brings it a roundabout way that Byaku is the final villain for Dr. Stone. Like, if we're moving forward, if we're getting more chapters after this one, because yeah, there's no way we're getting the time machine at the end of that next chapter. Like, this again, like, just so many things being planned here. But I do like the idea that the Y-Man is still scheming. Like, he's not truly fully on board with the humans, but at the same time is still cooperating with them. So yeah, now my first thought was that Byaku is conscience, like his essence is alive inside the Y-Man, which would go back to the idea of just him of just his thoughts at the beginning of the chapter, where we got that flashback of him basically saying where was it yeah, you've got to take action to achieve something, can't know what will happen until you try. So maybe he did try that, like try to maybe sort of upload through science, like in the store. Like, I don't know, there's just something that needs to be answered here in the next chapter. Like, what is the deal going on with Y-Man? Why did he petrify mosquitoes? Like, what is going on here now? Party Jams and me obviously talked about this, and we're going to go into further detail when we do our Dr. Stone stream. So yeah, Party Jams said, I'm thinking Y-Man made up the message, which is why Ryusui is mad. That's my thinking. But then I gave the idea of like, probably maybe Y-Man doesn't want all this fantasize happening or something. But Party Jams thinks it's the exact opposite. Y-Man saw humanity was getting their own way with progressiveness, so he manipulated the fence and the environment, mosquitoes, so they move forward. Now that does make sense. So Y-Man saw humanity was getting in their own way with progress. So yeah, I guess that does make sense. But again, why would that be called back to Byakuya? It's you've got to do something to achieve, like that message of you've got to take action to achieve something. So and their own way was getting in their own way with progress. Like, they're just not taking enough action. But again, why would Byaku's words be called back if it wasn't the fact that this was Byaku speaking? Like, I don't know. Like, just my brain hurts at the moment. So yeah, like I said, really good chapter, and just like, again, with Dr. Stone, you just have no idea what's coming next, and there's just a boatload of theories that people are going to be theorizing until we get the final chapter on Sunday, which might not be the final chapter of Dr. Stone overall. It might be the final chapter for a while until we get the next series, because I have no doubt in my mind, with the success of season 3 of Dr. Stone, we are getting another special and season 4, which means we might get more Dr. Stone chapters to compensate for it as well. But anyway, guys, what did you think of the chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.